Hello there, welcome back to the channel. This is episode 3 of my Beautiful Books review series where we take a look at some amazing editions of celebrated works, providing a brief overview of both the physical special edition itself and some of my thoughts of the book, having read it again fresh recently. This isn't meant as a particularly encompassing discussion of things like themes or a critical assessment of the text. It's more of a light touch thought starter to give you my opinion and feelings as a reader, and I'm hoping in part to motivate you to check out the physical edition itself if I did a good enough job. Please note there will be some minor spoilers for this review, but I will not give away all of the cool twists. Today we're looking at Image Comics' 2013 adaptation of the epic poem Beowulf. This edition is from late 2016. This is a pretty visually stunning reimagining of the ancient Anglo-Saxon classic and comes in a nice hardcover edition also. Mine came a little bit banged up from transit. I'm not sure if you can see that, but as this is one of the cheaper special editions that I own, I kept it, and I think it adds a little worn or battle-scarred character that maybe even Beowulf himself, I'd like to think, would approve of. So what the hell is Beowulf? If you've seen the 2007 film, you still don't know. Extremely broad strokes for the setup. Beowulf is the story of the titular yacht hero Beowulf, who sails across the sea to Denmark to defeat Grendel, a creature that has been attacking and dispatching the inhabitants of King Hrothgar's seat, Heorot, for 12 years. So basically, the king and his people have been plagued by Grendel. Every warrior that they've sent to defeat him has been lost. Their numbers are dwindling. No mortal blade appears to be able to pierce his thick hide. So what will they do? Continue to die, I guess, unless a certain southern Swede Chad shows up. The poem is violent, aspirational and awe-inspiring, and please note that this edition definitely does put the graphic in graphic novel. This edition was created by Spanish duo David Rubín and Santiago García, and they were working off of Irish writer Seamus Heaney's spectacular retelling of the poem, which in my opinion is the quintessential version of the text. Please don't stone me. Please note that this review will contain some spoilers, but if you haven't read it yet, I mean, come on, it's been out 1,000 years, what are you doing? But please considering checking it out. This is truly an epic story, no matter which version you choose, whether it's Seamus Heaney or this graphic novel adaptation. Heaney's translation, though, is incredibly articulate. It uses some beautiful language and also keeps the flow of the original, which was written in strict alliterative verse. As a side note, there's an incredibly interesting discourse around Beowulf, which raises questions around its construction, its authorship, if it's even possible to translate it faithfully, and a whole other host of contested subjects, which made it mandatory reading for English literature undergraduates around the world, including yours truly. Beowulf then is a lot of things: a foundation of modern literature stemming from the Middle Ages, and an awe-inspiring tale of resolute good overcoming evil, distilled through a distinctly Christian lens. By that I mean whoever wrote Beowulf, or translated it early on enough, gave the story a clear Christian tint. It provided the foundation for works like The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. Author J.R.R. Tolkien famously did a translation of his own, which is also spectacular, although unfortunately I don't own a copy to share here. There are clear connections to the text that we can draw across literally thousands of years to characters like Smaug the Serpent and his glittering gold hoard. This edition comes in a really nice solid cardboard binding with these strong, almost foreboding colours making up the palette. The exception to this you will see is the warm outline of the titular hero Beowulf, who is actually carefully superimposed atop the gruesome, carnivorous Grendel, Beowulf's opposite, and perhaps dark reflection. The story here is split into a clear chapter format, I assume for reader ease. The original epic is one continuous narrative that, even when teleporting the reader 5 decades, is written uninterrupted. One thing that is consistent throughout is the bold and honestly incredible dedication to visual splendor. The art is great, I want to make that really clear, but the use of crazy color is what really drives me to talk about this rendition. The crimson spray of the slain's entrails, the hypnotic neon ooze of Grendel's lair, and the brilliant, blinding yellow flash of dragonfire is a visual treat, and it really does never let up. The paper is thick, glossy, and feels really nice to touch. It also feels really robust and brings out those stupendous colours to life. There is no colour loss here. I'm itching to show you more, but I think I've hopefully tickled your fancy enough with this edition to get you to check it out yourself. To be honest, looking at this beautiful edition won't do it justice. You really need to kind of see and experience it for the first time yourself, as including the narrative twists as well. If you've never experienced the story of Beowulf, please go out and give it a look-see. At the time of recording, this edition will run you about £15 to £20 in the UK where I am based, and it is available from third-party resellers. There are also kind of used editions on places like eBay for significantly less, but obviously there'll be limited stocks of that, and it just depends if you're able to get your hands on it, how much you'll get it for. Thanks so much for watching the video, and hopefully I've piqued your interest. The takeaway for this video is that this is a really fun, inspired and faithful, and just really imaginative adaptation or retelling of this incredibly celebrated work, and just an incredible piece of literature in its own right, and I highly recommend checking it out. I also want to note that I'm not sponsored in any way and that all opinions are my own. Thanks for watching this video on Beowulf, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.